Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Bryce from Susquehanna Valley High School here in Conco, New York. We're doing Unit 2, Lesson 7, Part 1. Part 2 will be obviously next. We're Common Core Algebra 2 non-Regents version, and we're going to talk about the key features of functions. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just scan that QR code, and you can listen to the genius that wrote these worksheets. Okay, the graphs of functions have many key features whose terminology we'll be using all year long. It's important to master this terminology, most of which you've learned in Common Core Algebra 1. The function y equals f of x is shown and graphed to the right. Answer the following questions based on this graph. We're going to take our time so we know we have it. State the y-intercept. Well, there's the y-axis, so the y-intercept is right there. That's the point, 0, 2. Got it? You can't say y equals 2. Y equals 2 is a horizontal line. Horizontal line. Not y equals 2. That is a horizontal line. State the x-intercepts of the function. Let me see. There's the x-axis, so the x-intercept is there and there. Is there one over here somewhere? No, because it doesn't continue. The function terminates over an interval. Okay, so let's figure out what the first one is. Do you have it? It's -6. -6, 0, and 4, 0. Now let's just say I wanted to write it in list form or roster form. Yes, that's okay, because they're curly. I could have listed that as 2, because it's in roster form. Over the interval, from -1 to 2, but notice not including -1, not including 2, is f of x increasing or decreasing? Well, let's get out Mr. Smiley Face. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Smiley Face. I am going to start at -1, start at -1 on the function, and go to 2. Whee! I went uphill. So it's increasing. How can you tell? F of -1 equals 2. F of 2 equals, how high is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double check. 2, 4, 6, 8. And 2 is less than 8. So it's increasing. Give the interval over which the function is greater than 0. What's a quick way of seeing this visually? Okay, first of all, the interval that's greater than 0. We just had the x-intercepts, and is it greater than 0? Yes, it is greater than 0 from there to there. So give it an interval notation. Greater than 0, not greater than or equal to 0. You know, I don't like that. We're going to make it f of x is greater than or equal to 0, because you know what? It looks like I'm writing a point. No, I'm not going to write a point. I'm going to write it in interval notation from -6 to 4. To 4. Okay, the brackets mean we include -6 and we include 4. I got it from right there. What's a quick way of seeing this visually? Everything above the what? Everything above the what? Everything above the what? Everything above the what? No, I'm not skipping. Everything above the x-axis for their question, or above and on for my question. Let's see what E says. State all the x-coordinates of the relative maximums. Relative maximum. Relative. So look around you. What is something relatively close to you? Relatively easy to reach. Relatively. Relative maximum. In other words, just in general, the relative maximums and the relative minimums, and then label them. You notice I've been sneaking up. So, relative maximum, Mr. Smiley Face. Going up, up, going down, up, 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 right there. Relatively maximum, up, 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 relative maximum. Ooh, even there, even right there. Okay. So, because it's going up, going up. Now, what about the minimums? Let's pick something like that. Minimum and minimum. Got it? Relative maximums, the high points. Relative minimums, the low points. Label them. Okay. Let's label this as a min, max, max, max. Just relatively. What is the absolute maximum and absolute minimum? Absolutely tallest. Absolutely tallest. Absolutely tallest. Look for the highest point. This is also the absolute. And this one is the absolute minimum. It's absolutely the smallest spot on the graph. State the domain and the range. Domain and range using interval notation. Domain, what can go in? Well, here's the important thing. Domain, what goes in? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. That's -8 on the x-axis. That's +6 on the x-axis. That's the domain, all the way from -8 to 6. This is not an open circle. Not an open circle. Okay, so it's included -8 to 6. Domain. Interval notation, not set builder notation. -8 to 6, inclusive. Range. The highest point and the lowest point. The range. The highest point and the lowest point. Range. The highest point and the lowest point. Not skipping. Range. Lowest point. -1, -2, -3, -4. Now let's go to the highest point. Wasn't that an 8? Yep, right there. 8. -4 to 8. It's very important to understand domain. What's going in, range, domain, what's going in on the x-axis, range, what comes out. Now, notice I didn't stop here. Here, that is not the range, okay? You go to the highest point on the graph, which often will not be the last point. any polynomial of degree 3. If the second function g of x is defined by the formula 1/2 of f of x plus 2, what's the y-intercept of g? Ooh, good question. Let's stop and think. What does it mean to be the y-intercept? Does it mean that's going to be 0? Or does it mean the x is going to be 0? What's the y-intercept? The y-intercept, is the y going to be 0? Or is the x going to be 0? I hope you just said that the x is going to be 0. So basically, g of 0 equals 1/2 f of 2. G of 0 equals 1/2 f of 2. The function value at 2. What's the function value at 2, Mr. Smiley Face? The function value at 2, I'm at 2. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go up 8. So, g of 0 is 1/2 times 8, because the function values of 2 is 8. We just saw that. Rewind it. Ask me in class. Ask questions. G of 0 is 4. I'm going to grab that and then put it down there. Okay, so I'll see you in class tomorrow. I hope you have lots of questions, because I've got questions for you. Catch you later.